The shuttle doors hissed open, and Cadet Elias Orn stepped into the training hall of the Varkuun Dominion. 100 alien eyes immediately fixed on Himslid. Glassy, compound, and glowing. None of them were friendly. You see, humans had only been allowed into the Dominion Academy for 3 cycles, and the rumors were already flying. Terrans were soft, fragile, loud, emotional, impulsive, pick any insult, and someone had probably thrown it at a human. Elias tried his best to ignore the snickers as he marched forward. The training hall was immense, carved from obsidian stone and lit by harsh blue torches. The air was thick with the smell of metal, ozone, and something distinctly predatory. A deep hush fell over the hall as General Carvox entered. Carvox was a living legend, an apex hunter even among the formidable Varkuun. His hands were tipped with 10 razor-sharp talons, and his armor was forged from the bones of beasts he had slain alone. His presence was so powerful it seemed to thin the very air. "Cadets," Carvox's voice rumbled through the hall. "Today, we test your worth." Elias swallowed hard. He'd studied everything about the Varkuun, every halavid of Carvox's combat forms, every lecture on their code of honor, every single rule of engagement. But he quickly realized that studying a storm is a very different thing from standing inside one. The first trial was endurance. Varkuun physiology was built for incredible bursts of anaerobic strength. But humans relied on steady, long-lasting stamina. Elias passed, but just barely. A few cadets sneered when he collapsed to one knee at the finish line. "Terran lungs," one of them hissed, "weak." The second trial was precision throwing, striking, and reacting. Elias held his ground, but he ranked low. His hands were steady, but his muscles were still trembling from the punishing endurance course. He was starting to think the rumors might be true. Maybe humans just weren't cut out for this. But the third trial, that was different. "The path of the bonded hunt," Carvox announced. 2 cadets. Enter the hollow maze. Only cooperation brings survival. Pairs were assigned, and Elias found himself standing beside Razek, a Varkuun cadet, known for being the loudest and cruelest in his mockery of humans. Razek snorted at him, a cloud of hot air puffing from his nostrils. "Stay out of my way, meatling." "I'll do my best," Elias shot back, irritation bubbling just beneath his calm exterior. The maze swallowed them into its dark, humid depths. The walls shifted, the floor vibrated, and somewhere in the shadows, mechanized predators began to stalk them. They moved in an uneasy silence for a while, until a metallic roar shook the halls. A training Beasta steel-bodied hunter drone charged straight at them. Razek immediately leapt aside, his talons flashing. Elias rolled in the opposite direction, his eyes scanning for an advantage. He spotted a jagged pipe ripped from the wall and grabbed it. The drone lunged again, its metal jaws snapping shut with a sickening clang. Razek slashed at its flank, sending a shower of sparks into the air. Elias saw his opening. He thrust the pipe deep into one of the drone's joints, jamming it for just half a second. Half a second was all Razek needed. His claws tore through the machine's core, and it fell with a dying, metallic screech. Razek turned to Elias, his chest heaving. That strike. It was well-timed. Elias, surprised, blinked. Thanks. They had no time to rest. More creatures. Came 2, then 3. Then a whole swarm, and a strange thing happened. Elias found himself moving with Razek, as if they'd trained together for months. It was a perfect synchronization of human reflexes and Varkuun ferocity. Elias would duck under attacks that Razek was too large to dodge, and Razek would intercept blows that Elias could never withstand. They weren't partners out of choice, but they became partners out of pure necessity. When the last drone fell, they limped towards the exit tunnels, their armor scorched and their bodies aching. It was Razek who spoke first. "You fight with heart, Terran, and you do not abandon your ally." "It's kind of a human thing," Elias replied, trying to catch his breath. "We look out for each other." Razek tilted his head, studying him with the same intensity a predator studies prey. But this time, something new was in his gaze. It was respect. When they finally emerged from the maze, The other cadets stared in disbelief. Whispers rippled through the hall. Elias braced himself for more mockery, for more insults. But what happened next left the entire room stunned into silence. General Karvok stepped forward, his shadow engulfing Elias completely. "Young Terran," he rumbled, his voice echoing with authority. "Your name carries little weight here, yet, but your actions today carry much." Elias opened his mouth, but no words came out. He was completely at a loss. Then, Karvox did something unthinkable. He dropped to one knee, a gesture of the most profound honor in Varkuun culture. Struck his chest with a closed fist. "You stood with a Varkuun in the jaws of danger," the general declared, his voice ringing with power. "You fought as a packmate, as a hunter, as a warrior." He raised his head, and his piercing golden eyes locked onto Elias's. "I greet you as brother." The silence in the hall was absolute, breathless, electric. In that single moment, every cadet who had mocked him, who had called him weak, realized that the entire hierarchy had just been turned on its head. Elias Thorne, the soft, fragile, emotional, had just earned something that few Varkuun ever received in their entire lives: the respect of their most legendary hunter. Then, Razek stepped up beside Elias. He looked at the human, then at his general, and slowly mirrored the gesture, striking his own chest. "Brother," he said, his voice quiet but firm. A feeling of pride swelled in Elias's chest straw, overwhelming and utterly human. For the first time since he had arrived at the academy, he didn't feel like an outsider. He didn't feel out of place. He felt like he finally belonged. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you next time.